Alright, here's a second video regarding section 2.2. There were some problems in the middle that would have been best done where you could see the problems worked out. And so the problems are very similar. And so let's take a look at what they're going to have in this section 2.2. They're going to give us a function, and they're going to ask some questions about it. And this will model kind of those intermediate questions. And so the functions that they're going to give us will vary, but they'll cause us to think. So this is x plus 2 over x minus 7. So they want us to look at this function. And the question that they have for us, part A, is they're going to ask, is 3 negative 18 on the graph? And then you'll have an option of yes or no. And this is a multiple part question, and it's very similar to those middle ones that are 7, 8, and 9. And so what does that mean? We need to check what they're claiming is, they want to know, is f of 3 really negative 18? So let's see what f of 3 is. Well, that's 3 plus 2 all over 3 minus 7, or that's 6 over actually, I think this was a 12 if I look at my notes, right? So let me make that a 12 because it may make a difference. So 3 plus 12 is 15. So let me get an eraser here. 3 plus 12 is 15. And 3 minus 7 is negative 4. Now that doesn't equal negative 18. So it's because it doesn't equal negative 18, you're going to mark the answer no. So no is the correct answer there. B, they're going to word it this way. If x is equal to 1, what is f of x? So what have they asked? In a strange way, they asked for what f of 1 is. And what's f of 1? 1 plus 12 all over 1 minus 7, or 13 over negative 6. Or negative 13/6. My suggestion would be leaving it as an improper fraction. So they're not afraid for you to have fraction answers. C is more important. They're saying f of x is equal to 2. What is x? Now it's possible to have more than one x. So what, and a nice way to put that is, what are the values with that s in parentheses of x? Okay, so how do we do that? Well, remember what f of x was. It was x plus 12 all over x minus 7. That's the one I got out of the homework when I looked at it. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to let f of x be 2. So essentially they're asking us to solve this question, which we did back in beginning algebra and also reinforced in intermediate algebra. No problem. Multiply both sides by x minus 7. You'll get 2 times x minus 7 is equal to x plus 12, right? The x minus 7's on the right-hand side would cancel. That's a couple of x's minus 14 is equal to a single x plus 12. If I brought my x's together, I get a single x. So the moment I realize that I'm not going to have an x squared or anything like that is the moment I realize there's just one solution. So what's x equal to? It's equal to 26, right? Because I'd add 14 to both sides. And we get a nice x equals 26, which would be the answer. So that's what this really looks like. Now there's a couple of other questions. So I think I was keeping track of them letter-wise. So D is, what is the domain of the function? Well, let's remind ourselves what the function was. The function was f of x was equal to x plus 12 all over x minus 7. And the question is, we're going to assume it's everything unless we either are going to divide by 0 or take an even root. Well, potentially we could divide by 0. So the question is, does x minus 7 ever equal 0? And the answer is yes, when x is equal to 7. So 7 needs to be ruled out. So what's the domain? The domain's not 7. The domain's a ton of things. In interval notation, it's negative infinity all the way up to 7. And then jumping on the other side and going from 7 to infinity. That is our domain in interval notation, everything but 7. And then E is going to ask, are there any intercepts? What are the intercepts? And no problem, let me remind you of what the function is. It's up top still, but we'll bring it here. Well, we're hoping that you remember how to find intercepts. Let's find the y-intercept. Or maybe we won't find one. Or maybe we'll find two. How about the y-intercept? What do I do? Hopefully your experience tells you to let x be equal to 0. So you're going to find out what f of 0 is. And f of 0 is 12 over negative 7, or negative 12 sevenths, bringing that negative sign out in front. So your your y-intercept is negative 12 sevenths. So it crosses through 0, negative 12 sevenths. What's your x-intercept? Well, you let y be equal to 0. Well, that's no problem. What's y in this function that I'm circling right now? What's f of x? So you need to find out when 0 is equal to x plus 12 all over x minus 7. Well, multiply both sides by x minus 7, you still get 0 over here. And so it's when x is equal to negative 12. And so an x-intercept is negative 12, or in ordered pair form, negative 12, 0. Plugging those in will give you the answers that you need, right? And so we'll learn, exactly how they want us to plug those in. But this is an example of those intermediate problems within 2.2. You saw the beginning ones in an earlier video, and number 10, this would be the ones in the middle. All right, good luck in everything.